Okay, a very good evening, everyone. So I already pasted the YouTube live link. So once we hit 100 participants, you won't be able to join in the talk anymore, and you can share that link uh, to your friends who are able to tune in. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have a very special session for tonight, and I'm just so happy that all of you have spent some time to join us for our evening talk today. And we have two special invited speakers for tonight. So for me, just an introduction, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Taufik. I'm a medical doctor by profession, and I've been doing this business for about more than 10 years. And yes, I'm still a practicing medical doctor, and I enjoy doing business, but tonight it's not about me. I can share more later if you are interested, but tonight we're focusing on two amazing leaders who will be sharing more about this business and more about how we can be an entrepreneur during this time. Okay, so the first speaker that I'll be inviting to share with you guys tonight will be Miss Ang Wee Lee. She was a pharmacist by training, and she's been doing this business for also way more than me because she's also my mentor. And now she's broken free of all the shackles of employment, and she's really living her dreams, running this business full time. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Ms. Ang Wee Lee to share with us on why now is the best time for entrepreneurship, or is entrepreneurship the best for you? Okay, Wee Lee.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Oh, I seem to hear a bit of echo. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, good. Who in this Zoom here is seeing me for the first time? So many faces, I don't know where to see. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Anyway, before I start, right, happy early National Day to everyone. You see the flag behind me, right? Very patriotic. Okay. Yeah. Okay, like what Dr. Taufik says, right?
My face will feel spicy.
Can you please mute your mic wherever you are? Thank you very much. Okay. So like what Dr. Taufik said, right? I've been doing this business for about more than 10 years. I was a pharmacist. I'm a pharmacist by profession. So I think many of you here in this Zoom, you are or were an employee before, right? Most of us in Singapore are mostly employees to start off with. Very few people are like Dr. Lam, who is an entrepreneur, right? Hi. Okay, it's a bit weird to speak like this to everybody. Okay, so I think today's topic is talking about is entrepreneurship for me, right? And I guess some of you here are considering this entrepreneur path today. That's why you're here today. Or maybe some of you already started the journey, you just wanted some reassurance that this business is for you. Or maybe some of you are invited by a friend and you decided to be a good friend. That's why you're here today. Okay, congratulations, right? So whatever your reasons for logging in today, I hope today's 1 hour sharing is of value to you. Okay, so let me just pull out my screen. Give me a short while. Okay. See, what do you want to be when you grow up? This is a very typical question asked to many of us, right, when we're younger, and asked to our the young kids nowadays, isn't it? And very often, right, you hear the response being, I want to be a teacher when I grow up, right? Teacher is a very noble profession, and many people want to be doctors. Agree? Many people also want to be lawyers, to be chef. I've never really heard of people wanting to be a pharmacist, honestly speaking. And I've never come across anybody who said they want to be a boss or entrepreneur. Do you agree? Right, that's why we have here today, right, is entrepreneurship for me. So very interestingly, right, nobody has ever asked this question, no, is working for me? Have you asked yourself this question before or not? Is working life for you? I think not, right? I think many of us never ask ourselves this question, right? Because we are so used to being educated, to have a good education and then find a good job, right? Nobody taught us to have a good education and then lead a good life, isn't it? It's always to find a good job. That's the basis. So there was one leader who I heard before, she shared, she said, we are not born on this earth to just work and pay bills. Who agrees with this? Okay, who agrees to this? We are not born on this earth to just work and pay bills, right? Actually, at that point, I have never thought about this. And this particular leader, right, she said her dream is very small. She said her dream is just to be able to wear nice clothes and KLKK. Wear nice clothes and walk here, walk there. That is a small dream. Okay, that is the kind of lifestyle that she wants to have. Okay, so ask yourself, what kind of dream, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have, right? Then for myself, I've never thought of being an entrepreneur. Never, ever. My business partner, Mei Ling, we were ex-colleagues before in the pharmacy where we work. And she ever asked me, hey, let's go and open a shoe shop together. We are both tired of being a pharmacist. So she said, why don't we open a shoe shop together? And I said, no, I never want to be my own boss. Anybody say that before? To yourself? You never wanted to be an entrepreneur. Never. Why? For myself, I love to travel. I love freedom. So I cannot imagine myself being stuck to my business, stuck to a shop, first to go in, last to leave, and no leave. Basically, you work 24/7, 365 days a year. So that's not the kind of life I want. And I think, working is quite okay because we have 14 days, 21 days leave. Anytime I can take my leave and go for a holiday. So I have never thought of being an entrepreneur. And I guess many people, they have never thought of being an entrepreneur is because, probably they lack the capital, the resources to start a business. Or maybe you don't even know what kind of business you want to go into, right? And it's actually pretty risky, to be an entrepreneur. What if you sink in all your savings and it doesn't work out? So there is a lot of thinking behind. That's why it's stopping people from taking the first step to become an entrepreneur. And it's also very, very stressful. And many people, they can't really quit their job and plunge in full-time to be an entrepreneur. They still need the security of a paycheck. Do you agree? I think that is a very valid reason, right? So for me, I've never thought of being an entrepreneur, but why am I here today, right? So what made me change? Anybody curious what made me change? What made me change my mind? Before I came into New Skin business, 5 years before, my brother actually prospected me into New Skin business. Simple reason being, hey, you're a pharmacist. It's very easy for you to sell the supplements. So I said, nah, over my dead body. No means no. I'm not going to come into New Skin business and be a network marketeer because I'm a professional. So what happened 5 years later that made me change my mind and come on board to this business? Very simple. I wanted to regain control. That's all. I wanted to regain control of my life. I want to break free from the rat race. I didn't want to get stuck to a job for the rest of my life. I don't want to get stuck in traffic jam in the morning. I don't want to get stuck in traffic jam in the evening. I don't want to go for lunch and have to choke table with the tissue paper. Those are the things that I didn't like. And I want to be able to sleep peacefully at night and not have to think of the projects, think of the presentation the next day, etc. So I wanted control of my life. And that's why I came into this entrepreneurship, this path, right? But, like I mentioned before, right, doing business, there's so many things to consider, things that make people think about not doing the business. So why is New Skin business different? Yeah, why is New Skin different, right? Very simple. I came from a retail background. I managed before my last portfolio was a senior operations manager. So I was managing a chain of retail pharmacy. And I know retail is not easy to do in Singapore. The rental will kill you, right? So if you don't have the money, you can't really set up a retail shop or office and all these. So what attracted me into New Skin is there's no office. There's New Skin office there. It's New Skin's office open to serve us. There are no staff involved. All these staff, amazing staff, right, are employed by the company to assist us, right? HR can be a huge headache. So if you don't have to deal with people, that is the best. HR is a big headache. So no staff, no inventory. The big warehouse that New Skin has, right, is my warehouse, but I did not sink a single cent in it. So anytime I need stocks, I need a dozen or 2 dozen TR90, New Skin is able to supply. This is my warehouse, but I don't park a single cent in it. So basically there is no overhead for me. So isn't that a no-brainer business? There's no risk, right? And the other thing I really love is your time, your place, right? You can do the business anytime you want. If you are a morning bird, you can do it early in the morning. If you're a night bird, you stay up late at night, you can do it at a timing. And you can do it anywhere. You don't have to be confined to a specific office, to a specific shop. Yeah. I used to think, right, my office in the past is like my little prison. I clock in at 8:30, I clock out at 5:30. That's my prison. 5 days a week, and then Saturday half day prison. So this business is really amazing because you can do your business anywhere, anytime, as long as you have your laptop, you have your handphone, you have a cup of coffee or tea, you have Wi-Fi, and you can operate anywhere. And now social media is everywhere, right? So you can work local and grow a business global. So isn't that wonderful? Right? So this is really what is very attractive to me. For somebody who likes to be free, I want to be able to operate my business anywhere and with no overheads. And we have very, very strong R&D support from the company. Myself, right, I won't be able to afford all these scientists on the payroll, correct? But yet our strong R&D team, the 70 odd scientists that New Skin has, is to support us so that I don't have to worry about staying ahead of my competition. New Skin takes care of all these, and they have all the expertise. They employ all the scientists to work on R&D so that our products are always innovative and ahead of others. Okay, this is something I really appreciate. And unlimited upside, yeah. So nobody run a business doing a charity. Money is important. We have to pay bills, right? So the compensation plan is really important. So if a company is very good but doesn't really pay you very much, it's a bit difficult for you to persevere and continue. But we have very fantastic velocity plan. Share, build, lead bonus. Depending on where you're looking at, okay, if you share the business a little bit, you earn a little bit of gig income, share bonus. Then if you want to build your business better, you can earn build bonus. And sometimes build bonus is quite comfortable for some people to be able to quit their job. Right, they don't have to clock 9 to 5, but yet they can earn a very comfortable build bonus. But many of us are in here for the lead bonus, the leverage income, right? And basically, what I wanted is to be able to work really hard in the initial few years so that I can enjoy leverage income for the rest of my life. Okay, so this part here about the comp plan, you can actually ask the person who invited you into the Zoom for more information. So we'll not cover that much here today, right? Okay, and all these, whatever I said, right, is really real. Success is real. You can see in 2016, New Skin actually celebrated our 20th anniversary in Southeast Asia. We've been here for, now it's 25 years already, the 25th year. So Forbes actually published and have an article on New Skin celebrating 20th anniversary, and they featured $100 million circle member in Southeast Asia. In just 20 years, New Skin produced $100 million circle member. And just very recently, right, last year, October, Forbes Asia also featured New Skin. And we have two ladies here in this Zoom meeting today, Miss Rosiani, the one in red. And if you can catch her sharing next Saturday on our expo on FB, right? Rosiani will be sharing in Malay about the business, so you'll be translated into English, I'm sure. And also at the bottom, we have Dr. Lam Ying Kiet. We are very honored to have Dr. Lam here with us today, and she's going to share later her journey, her experiences. So stay tuned, right? So success is really real. And along the way, just now I mentioned, right, we have very strong R&D. So we have fantastic products. As you build your business, right, you use the products and then you discover the best you. How great is that, right? Who wants that, right? And you are the product of the product. We are the walking advertisement. I'm the walking shop. My shop I carry everywhere I go. and you fall in love with yourself. You love yourself more and more every single day. So I think this is wonderful, right? And you get to spend time with people that you love. And I mean it. Spend time with people that you love, right? And you don't have to apply for leave or time off to attend to your pets or bring your kids to school or bring your parents for appointments, etc. The time is yours. There's no need to apply leave or to apply time off from anyone. Spend the time doing things that you love. Spend the time with people that you love and not have to spend time doing things that you do not love, right? As an employee in the past, there were many things that I do not love, but I have to do because we are all on a payroll, on a paycheck. We have to do, no choice, right? So this is something I find really, really priceless, and I really appreciate what this platform can give. And coming to the end, basically our business, this is your life, your business, your way. What kind of lifestyle you want, you determine it yourself. And this is the platform that allows you to be able to lead the kind of lifestyle that you want. So to answer the question, right, is entrepreneurship for me? I want to leave this last quote for you, for everyone. Freedom is our right. You agree? Just like health is our right. Freedom is also our right. But you make sure, right, that you know what kind of lifestyle that you want. So entrepreneurship is for anyone who values freedom, who values control in their life. And I hope more and more people can empower themselves so that they can start to lead the kind of lifestyle that they want. And I hope many of us here can add value to many more people out there so that more and more people can enjoy the kind of lifestyle that we do enjoy here. So I hope this short sharing benefits you, and I'll pass the mic back to Dr. Taufik. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Willie, for sharing us a very brief but effective introduction to the business and your opportunity. I mean, the opportunity through your eyes, through your journey, and through your lens. And because we also have quite a short timeline to hit, and we also want to bring up the next speaker who will share more about her journey in this entrepreneurship experience and platform. Let me introduce you first before I bring her up. So she's Dr. Lam Yin Kiat. She was the managing director of a dental group in Singapore, which she co-founded at 26 years old. Her dental business group was awarded the Top Influential Brands Award in 2014, which was based on a nationwide random polling, and the group consisted of 14 dental surgeons, many of whom are dental specialists. And recently, she completed an acquisition deal to buy over her dental business, and she has sold that business to focus more on this current business platform that she's on, the Nu Skin business, which is a global entrepreneurship business. And without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Lam to share. Welcome, Dr. Lam.
Hi, Taufik.
Hi.
Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. Okay, so this segment will be more of a casual or Q&A to make it maybe more easier for people to relate and appreciate. And if you guys have any questions or for Dr. Lam or Willie, feel free to ask the questions and we'll go back to it later. So maybe I will start the session with you. We want to hear more about what is your background before Nu Skin. Just now it's just a short intro. Maybe you can share a little bit more about what were you doing or what were you like before Nu Skin.
Okay. Okay, I mean, a little bit about me. I think Taufik shared that I started my own business at 26 years old. Trust me, it's not that because I was born to start a business. Okay, definitely not. Okay, but in short, I used to run a dental group. I had a few clinics around Singapore, and I had about 15 dentists work for me. Half of them were dental specialists. So the main purpose of why I wanted to build the business is build my own business is exactly what Willie actually talked about earlier. The idea of gaining control. Maybe I'm a control freak, I don't know, but the idea of gaining control. I didn't like the idea of having to be at people's beck and call. And I mean, that was when that's why I kind of like started my own business. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing a bit more about your background, but I also heard about your life story, you know, way before you started, way before you were a dentist. And I always enjoyed hearing that your story about how you grew up, because I think that that also forms who you are today and also contributes to your success. So what was your life like growing up, and how did that contribute to your how you are today and your successes today?
Okay. I will share some slides,
Yes,
right?
please.
Hang on, just give me a moment. Is this visible? Yeah, so I mean, that's me. Let me move my slide. So don't get me wrong. You see, a lot of times people think when you do something else apart from what you're trained to do, is that you don't like what you do, or you're not good at what you do. On the contrary, I love doing what I do as a dentist. It's just that I didn't like the life that I wanted. Hang on, let me move. Yeah, so actually I come from Malaysia, and this is where my parents' hometown is. It's actually a very small town. It's called Tampin. It's at the border between Negeri Sembilan and Malacca. Some of you might have heard of it, some of you might have not. But when I was growing up, this town was so small, it had only one road, okay, and it's only this road. The entire town is serviced by one supermarket or shopping center. So you can imagine how tiny this place is. So I grew up, and this is a picture of me and my family. There are 4 of us. We have 4 siblings. Those are my parents. I'm the second in the family. This is actually a very rare family photo, because as I grew up, actually my dad has a family. He grew up with 10 siblings, but his dad passed away when he was in his 20s, and his youngest brother at that time was 5 years old. So literally my dad had to raise his family alongside with us. So I was living with uncles and aunts and cousins, and my parents, 2 people alone, were raising maybe about 8 to 9 children at one time at that time. So what I saw at that time was my parents working very hard. And it was really not because they couldn't do very much, but because they were firefighting all the time. They were just trying to raise their own siblings and their own children at the same time. And it really made me feel that, okay, when I grow up, I need to take care of my parents, right? So, and I want my parents to have a good life, right? And on top of that, actually, my parents also made a lot of key decisions in my life and my siblings' life. I think all of you know this, where this is, right? It's the causeway linking Singapore and Malaysia. And I grew up, my parents actually moved down south from Tampin to Johor Bahru, and I grew up in Johor Bahru. And they decided that I should have education in Singapore, together with my siblings as well. So they thought that at that point of time, by giving us an education in Singapore, we could have a better life. That was the basis of it. So throughout the time, I think for all of you parents out there, right, you're always doing things for your children and for the better life of your children. So from the age of 6 years old, I crossed this bridge every day to go to school, all the way till university was the only time when I moved to the hostel to stay. So every day I would cross this bridge to go to school. And some days it was really, really tough to actually even go home, because this is the usual look of the causeway. Of course, now it's empty, right? Because of COVID, right? Yeah. But this is the usual look of the causeway. And there were times I could just go back, take 3 hours to go one way, just to go to school one way, right? So what I'm trying to say is that we actually put a lot of sacrifice. And this entire exercise for 12 years of my life, like what you talk, how did it shape me? I became extremely good in time management. And I also became extremely independent, right? Because, we had to do this every day. And I was fortunate. I went to a good school in Singapore. And the school was actually situated in River Valley. So can you imagine River Valley every day go back to Johor Bahru, right? And you can see I was very tan. This is me. I was very tan, not because of anything else, but because I had to spend at least an hour on the causeway. Sometimes we had to walk from Kranji MRT, where Kranji MRT is, to go home every day. I was in the sun just to get home, right? So, yeah, and I became a dental student. Now, I hardly show this picture because nobody has seen me with this hairstyle, but but since Taufik asked for old photos, so
Special.
yeah, so what I would tell you is I was a very reluctant dental student, even though I'm smiling this picture, okay? Firstly, because I never wanted to be a dentist. I of course, that's what Willie has said, what do you want to grow up to be? When you're young, you are like, given all these ideas of what you should be. And I always wanted to be a medical doctor like Taufik. Okay, and at that time, as a Malaysian, the Singapore government did not accept Malaysian girls into medical school, simply put, okay? So I couldn't get into the Singapore medical school, and I got into 5 other medical schools around in Europe and in Australia. But you know what? My parents had no money to send me there. And that was the first time when I felt disadvantaged because I didn't have money. And of course, it tore my parents apart because they couldn't give me an opportunity which I was looking for, right? So I think that entire incident embedded a big part of wanting to be successful, right? And not to be in a position where I feel disadvantaged just because I didn't have something that other people had more than me. So after that, I graduated. I went into government first, right? So because we were all made to serve a bond, and every day I had to go to the polyclinic to serve for 2 years. And like what Willie said, the polyclinic, every morning I went there, I felt like I was going to sign into prison and sign out of prison, right? The feeling was that I felt very trapped because you have to be there at a certain time. You cannot leave 1 minute before. Your lunch must be this time. You cannot be 1 minute late, 1 minute early. And you have so many rules to follow and so many people to answer to. I didn't like that. So I realized I wanted control. And then I worked for somebody for another 2 years in private practice. And that was the time when I realized I could work very hard, but I wanted that freedom. I wanted to be the boss. And so like what you say, the control freak, right? So I wanted to regain that control. So I started my own business, right? With no experience, no money. We borrowed a lot of money from the bank. My parents were both civil servants, and nobody in my family ever did business. So it was really not. So what I'm trying to say is that, do you have to be must you be an entrepreneur, or must you come from a background or entrepreneur family in order to build a business? The answer is no, right? Basically, it is a lot of things is what shaped you, and this is what I realized, and that is why I think I kind of like ended up running my own business.
Wow. Oh, that was a very touching sharing of your life journey. Thank you so much. Oh, haven't finished.
Because you asked Taufik, so I thought I share a little bit.
Yeah, but it's really very touching to hear your life story, because that's when you realize sometimes you only see the success, you only see the good, like, oh, you're enjoying life now, but they never see all these things that you have to go through to form who you are today. So really, really appreciate you sharing that little bit part of your former life. But I want to ask you, the important question is, how did you find out about this new skin opportunity? What was your first reaction? And what attracted you to this business anyway, in the beginning? After all the success, you're already so successful, you went through all the hardship to build this beautiful office in the sky, then why no skin, right?
Okay, I think, you see, it's always nice to look from the outside and to say, wow, so successful, right? But I tell you honestly, because the dental business is one of very high cost, and we also had zero experience. I was 26, 27 years old. We really looked like just graduated, and then we started in the middle of Orchard Road, our business. So did it take me some time to earn back the money for the clinic? I tell you, yes. Okay, so so I was working really long hours at that time, and the only way that we could earn money because of the type of business that we had was to sell our dental service, right? And because our overheads were so high, we realized that we had to sell a lot of our dental service to cover a lot of overheads. I mean, there are a few ways I could do it. One is I could double, I could charge everybody a lot more money, right? Or the other way is I would work a lot more to cover everything. So I was work for the first 5 years of when my clinic opened. I was working every single day from morning 9 a.m. to at least 9-10 p.m. every night, and including Saturday and Sunday. And my only off days were public holidays. So how many public holidays in Singapore? Singapore has one of the fewest in the world. Okay, yes. So that was my off day, not a regular Sunday. I don't have a Sunday. Okay, that's the off day. So I was working very long hours, and coincidentally, let me share screen again. I met I met this lady here, right? And we're complete strangers. And she walks in at close to 9:30 or 10 p.m. at night with a toothache. And who does that? I mean, I'm about to close the shop. I'm so tired. I work 12 hours a day already. And she shows up. And all I can think of was like, oh, why these people like that, whatever. But anyway, I had to treat her because we cannot turn them away. And I had to see her multiple times after that. So it turns out she's actually a world champion gymnast for China. And she represented, we have the Olympics now. She represented China in the 1996 Olympic Games. Wow. And then she thought, wow, this dentist can work so late, can work Saturday, Sunday, and anytime can get an appointment because it's like 24-hour shop like that, So she thought I was working very hard, and she wanted to show me some supplements from New Skin, because New Skin at the time was the official nutrition line to the US Olympic team, which is what you see on the backdrop of the slide here. And she, being a retired gymnast, she wanted to try what the supplements. She's taking what the American athletes used to take. Okay, and she was the one. Oh, I can show you. So she was the one who actually invited me to look at some supplements. So of course, when I scanned myself, so for those of you who know the biophotonic scanner, my first scan score was less than 10,000. Nobody can beat my score, right? It cannot be measured anymore already. So
Mine also.
Sorry?
Mine also, less than 10,000.
Yeah. So everybody thinks healthcare, right? As long as you're healthcare, people think you're very healthy, but actually that's not true. We don't know about healthcare. But in terms of, we don't know about preventive care. You know what I'm trying to say? We're more towards treatment versus prevention. So, okay, anyway, not to digress. But maybe Taufik, you know more than me, but definitely not me. Okay. So she showed it to me, and she showed me the supplements. I said, okay, I'll take it because whatever, the score so low, And the next thing for me was that I after 2 hours of her talking to me, I was asking her, what are you? I mean, how much money do you make? Because at that point of time in my head, I was working so many hours a day, right? And I'm thinking, these people, they spend 2 hours talking to me, and I buy a box of multivitamins that cost me $100. How much does this person make, right? And I got curious, and I was also looking at how other people make money, because I was telling my partners in my business that, hey, if we continue like that, I think, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. We have to keep selling our time. And her sponsor actually showed me the business plan on a soiled napkin in the what do you call that, the cafe, Yeah, I mean, it's a used, I don't know, he wiped his mouth really with that, and then he used it to draw the business plan on it. Okay, but anyway, it doesn't matter, right? But my instinct the moment I saw it was that whatever this business plan is, it will allow me to gain exactly what I was looking for, the control and the freedom. Because at the end of the day, what I realized was that my business was controlling me. It controlled my entire life. I was controlled in terms of time, in terms of what I want to do. I was so scared, they're not go do this, do that, because what if I break my hand? What if I do, what if I injure myself and things like that? So I saw that I could regain that control. So of course, people will ask me, what's your reaction? What you heard about it. My reaction was, I told her I want to build a business, and she got shocked because most of the time people will say, don't disturb me, and things like that. I didn't know it's a network marketing business at the time. If I knew, I wouldn't even show up, right? Because I grew up in JB. JB is the land of the corrupted MLMs, right? Because they can't cheat all the Singaporeans, right? That's very good. And also the land of the pirated DVD at that time. Okay, so everything, so I didn't have a good impression about it, but I understood the business, and it's because I had run my own business, I could understand what it really entails about running a business. That I saw the beauty of a business like Nu Skin. I didn't know a lot of details, but my instinct was there, and I said, come, I will look at this, and that's how I kind of like got started with the business.
Wow, very powerful sharing as well. Like, I think you didn't even have a doubt. You just know that what you wanted, it was presented to you, and you said yes. Am I right?
Yeah. Actually, running my own clinic business also. I mean, I didn't do like, I don't know what chart lah, work plan or whatever, right? We just, okay, let's do like that, and then we just, I think like that can, okay, we have a plan roughly like that, then we just go,
Take action first and figure it out later.
Yeah, kind of
Wow.
like that. Because there was no, we were young and foolish at that time. But I mean, that was the advantage that we had being young and foolish, Yeah.
Wow. So now moving forward more than how many years already, and you even recently you sold off your dental practice, right? So what gave you that conviction that this is the one for you, and what keep you going so strong in the business till today?
Okay, I think the main thing about the Nu Skin business is that right at that point of time, I already made the decision that this is something I will see through. That means it was not a question of let me try and see whether it works. If it works, then I might not be a dentist next time. If it doesn't work, then I can fall back to be a dentist. That's not the train of thought. It's making that decision, right? And so it's always been that way, but it was just like because I already started the clinic business, so it was always trying to juggle both at the beginning. So what gave me that conviction was that obviously over time, right? Initially, when I first started building the business, I could roughly see it. But over time, it became clearer and clearer. This Nu Skin business is going to be way bigger than my entire clinic business over time, and more and more and more, right? And of course, the scalability, right? As I ran my clinic business, because it's not a one-person business, I was running it as a partnership with a few partners. So we had to look at scaling it, because I cannot just say, oh, I do want to do that. It is a partnership. And I realized the amount of capital, the amount of hard work, it doesn't really translate to the exact results that you are really looking at. So the frustration with the clinic business that got more and more bigger was the scalability, the leverage that I was looking for, right? The stress levels, right? You can have a business that is going great for a while, but one thing that comes, right? It can completely wipe out your business very quickly. So for example, I started my clinic business when I was, 1 year before SARS. So after that, SARS came. If SARS had stayed on for maybe another, or maybe the same duration as our current COVID, I wouldn't even have a clinic today to even sell, We have been wiped out. So I really knew very clearly that I felt vulnerable despite having my own business. Okay, so exactly like what Willie said, the control freak in me, right? I feel that I feel vulnerable that I don't have that control. So some of you might feel that. You feel like, oh, my boss like me, but one day your boss not around, how? Right? My job is very relevant today. I see some future. But something can come out and wipe out your whole whole job, right? So I'm maybe a bit more on the I don't know. I want something more certain, right? Having seen the way my parents brought up the family, right? So that's when I realized that the need for that control, and I could see exactly Nu Skin, the way it's positioned, the way my business is shaping up in Nu Skin. It made absolute sense, right? So actually, I didn't suddenly sell it. Actually, I have been planning to sell it. So most people don't realize that once you start a traditional business with lots of capital sunk in and having a lot of people work for you, you cannot just close it. And you cannot just anyhow dispose of it. Because if you want to be a responsible person, you have all these people work for you for more than a decade. You cannot just it's their livelihood, you cannot just end it. And most people also don't realize just closing a business costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially my kind of business, is a lot of money just to close it. So sometimes what kept me going for my clinic business at the beginning, most people don't realize, is that we realized that it was too expensive to close. So we better keep it open. So and also it's important to always start with the end in mind. That's what I want to say. Yeah, a lot of times we do things, we never start with end in mind. Okay, let's work for this lah. Let's do this, right? But you never see where this is going to end down the road. So I began to move my train of thought towards a more long-term kind of thing of exactly where I wanted to go in my life, right? And Nu Skin over the years became a clearer and clearer, answer to that. So for me, selling the clinic is a no-brainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the key thing that you mentioned was the scalability, right? Because a lot of people will see, wow, you got a beautiful clinic in Orchard, you are doing so well, so many branches, yada yada, all these things that people say that, why isn't it a waste? But then they don't realize all the things that you mentioned, like all the overheads, and it's actually costing more and more to grow even bigger and bigger, the stress and all those things. And yet in Nu Skin, what you can get that you cannot get in your current business is the scalability, less stress, but more expansion and more the ability to grow even bigger and less stress, which is very hard to achieve.
Yeah, so I mean, even like last year during the circuit breaker in Singapore, 2 months, right? Actually, if the government didn't step in, my clinics, all the clinics combined, the loss is already a six-figure sum loss, in 2 months. So that's why businesses can wipe out very quickly. And most people don't realize it. It looks nice on the outside, but the amount of stress that you get, and I don't like stress lah. And I
Yes, nobody likes stress.
Yeah. And to understand that tides can turn lah. In any way, whether you're employee, whether you're running your own business, right? Tides can turn. Yeah, and I know that very clearly.
Yeah, that's true. Especially nowadays, more and more people are realizing that anything can happen. There's no longer an iron rice bowl or a certainty, even if you're running your own business. There's always a lot of other factors that can knock it off and suddenly throw you off whatever that you're going towards. So what are the challenges? Because you already decided, you already made a decision you have to do Nu Skin, but then I'm sure you also went through challenges. I'm sure it's not a smooth sailing, right? So what are the challenges you face when you're pursuing this and building this Nu Skin business, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Okay. I think the biggest challenge is always within myself, right? Most of you will not know. Unless you're my old school friend. Actually, I'm highly introverted, very quiet. In the report book, next time I can show you. My teacher was like quietest in class or whatever, too quiet, keep to herself, all kind of things like that. Okay, anyway. So doing something with people was always not my forte, right? And even being a dentist, the good thing about it is the patient cannot talk back at me. So, so it's very peaceful. I don't have to talk, you don't have to talk, right? It's very good, right? So overcoming that having to deal with people, having to talk to people, and I tell you, having to deal with rejections. I mean, who likes rejections, right? And honestly, in my clinic, when I tell people you need this, then they just go, oh, nobody will say, will reject me, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, those were the things I found very challenging. But one other thing that I found also very challenging was that people around me or society's view of success or the labeling of success sometimes affected me. Wow, you are a dentist. Why is it so? Why must you go and do something else? And also because honestly, to get into that dental school position was very difficult. Okay, because like I said, they didn't accept any girls into medical school, but they accepted one girl, Malaysian girl in my cohort, and I was the only one who got it, and there were like 2,000 applicants. So it's not because I'm any better, but I won a lucky draw. That's all I can say. Okay, so people found that it was very wasted, and sometimes I also question, the pool of society, that pool of society's view of you, that labeling. And then having to steer back to, am I brave enough to be who I want to be and lead the life I want to lead? That actually, it is not easy to have that courage. Trust me, because there's so much society pressure. There's so much, there's also expectations. Yeah, you're right. Right. Maybe I think you experienced that also. Right. That only this part is what I had to decide for myself. And it's only through time that it becomes more apparent that people say, oh, she seems to have made a decision for herself. Initially, people were pouring a lot of cold water on me. And already I was running my own business, but nobody knew that we were also trying to stay afloat, right? So I mean, it was all those things that I had to break through myself to be able to stand up to say, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to be not afraid to actually grow, learn new things. I have to talk to people. Okay, go and talk to people. I have to learn to look people in their eyes, when I talk to them, or things like that, right? And to break through in that. I found that it was more a personal challenge. I don't think anything else was the big challenge out there. It was more within myself. Yeah.
So I think the challenges that you face, you realize actually a lot of them were internal, right? And once you actually realize, you just need to fix yourself. You just need to figure out how you can overcome your own your limiting factors, your limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And that's how you overcome and grow, right?
Yeah. And it's also quite tough because I come from all my classmates are very successful. In my secondary school, some are aesthetic doctors, they are civil servants, some are minister, member of parliament or whatever, right? So they're very high up in the civil service, permanent firm sec or whatever, I don't know lah, okay? And when you are in the midst of actually trying to build a business, the business doesn't come up so like, wow, moment you start, then you earn money. It's not like that for majority of the time. So sometimes you also end up questioning yourself, and it can feel a bit lonely because nobody understands entrepreneur's journey. Everybody only say, wow, this person got a promotion, very good, this person is the director of this is very good, but nobody understands that the journey an entrepreneur goes through, or that so-called pressure, right? Until you find that breakthrough, and then when you become successful, people will say, okay, very good. But during that journey, that is the challenging part.
Definitely. Then, so we're going through these challenges, overcoming them. Definitely, this journey and also the Nu Skin business has transformed yourself, and also those in your team, right? So maybe can you share with us some of these real life examples so that we can see for these two people, what that they look forward to in terms of what they can get out of this Nu Skin.
Okay. Let me share screen. Okay. So this lady here, I wanted to share. Her name is Jean. She started the New Skin business even before her little baby boy here was born. So why I want to share her story was that this lady and I are complete strangers. Okay. And like I said, it's out of my comfort zone to talk to people, less a stranger, right? So this lady is what I call somebody, I call what I call the toilet line.
Toilet
How I know this lady is not because I met her in the toilet. I decided I want to go and talk to people. Okay. So while queuing up in the toilet, I decided to talk to the lady in front of me. Right. And don't trust me, it's not that I talk to one person, then the fella decide to come and embrace the business. Right. Of course, I randomly try and talk to people along the way. But just happened that that lady decided to look at the business after I got to know her. And she found another person who happened to be a dentist who's much younger than me, and I don't know who's this person. And the wife was also a dentist. And we said that, hey, we have a presentation in Malaysia, and they decided to give a name, right? And it turns out the name was not this lady's name, it was her brother. And the brother said, please don't call me, call my sister. She just came back from Vietnam. So Jean here appeared for the business presentation in Malaysia. And she was so angry. She shouted and she was so angry and she was so fierce towards the presenter and she wanted to storm off.
Oh.
Okay, so why I share this is firstly, I had overcome great fear just to get this. And it was through a lot of people who other people, and I met this lady here. And she was so angry and she wanted to storm off. But after that, when she settled in and she listened, half an hour later, she decided to sign up to do the business. What's interesting is that actually her family actually runs a very successful F&B franchise in Malaysia. So a person who seemingly doesn't need the business actually was so against the business and came in and built the business, and she could transform. Wow. Right? And after that, she can build more than she's also one of the jumpstart. That means she's built more than 20 franchises within a year, and she could build this business. So we are complete strangers in completely different countries, right? And it was randomly because I decided to create an opportunity by talking to somebody in the toilet. Right? So sometimes miracles can happen to not just for me. Obviously, I'm very grateful to have somebody like her in my network, right? But it can also happen because we create the opportunity for something like this to happen, right? And then I wanted to share this lady. Her name is Aisu. Some of you in Singapore might have met her. Aisu and I also were complete strangers. We had a common friend. And what many people don't know is that, or maybe many people don't know, she's actually from Malacca, right? And when she decided to look at the business, she only had 30 friends. 30. Wow.
Okay.
Right? She has completely blossomed today, right? From previously till now, right? And what I want to share is that how this business can impact somebody. It's not easy for us to see at a certain point of time. But for Aisu, it was very unfortunate that a few years ago, unfortunately, her husband died very suddenly in an accident, right? And because she had the New Skin business, she was able to take completely 6 months off to actually take time off for herself to mourn and grieve and recover together with her young son, right? If you have a job, you cannot take 6 months off. Your boss will say bye-bye lah. You come back, you go and look for another job when you're ready, right? And you have no income, whatever time when you need to be ready. But this business was able to give her a monthly income. And actually during that period of time, her income actually went up, right? And she could spend that time to actually be with her family, be with her mom, be with her son. Yeah. Wow. So I think the impact of this business is not just about whether you have money now, whether you have the nice car, whatever, right? But whether you have the ability, that freedom of choice to do things when you need to, or some of times when life throws you curveballs, right? Do you have the ability to react as best as you can? Yeah. And Aisu has blossomed to be a completely different person, a very charismatic and very caring leader as well.
Amazing. Really, really powerful transformation stories. And it's just like you mentioned, like a lot of time when you talk about business, it's all about money and cars and success. But then it's these little things that makes our business a whole lot different and unique and more meaningful. It's the time, the transformation, not just physical, but also internally as well. So another question is, because tonight all the speakers or all the sharers are all in the healthcare industry. So doctor, dentist, pharmacists. So some people may think, oh, Nu Skin, is it only for healthcare professionals, or is it only for professionals, or can anyone do this? And is there any particular criteria or qualifying characteristics that you need in order to do well in this business?
I wish it's only healthcare professionals can do. Then we have a monopoly, right? That is all for us. No, I'm just kidding. Right. So obviously it's not only for us. In fact, if it is for professional healthcare professionals, then wouldn't it all be filled with healthcare professionals?
Yeah.
Right. So obviously the answer is no. I think the main thing is like I talked about being labeled. Does that mean Dr. Taufik, you can only be a doctor? And and really, then too bad you have to be a pharmacist. That's all you can do. Or for me as well. And I asked myself, on the day I die, I don't want people's eulogy to come up to say, oh, I remember Yin Kiat because she's a very gentle dentist. She gave me an injection, no pain. What sort of eulogy is that? Okay, I don't want to be remembered for my profession. Okay. I think it's important to change the way we think, right? And the people who succeed in this business are the people who want that control, who want to get out the rat race, who want to chart their own future. They must have that primary motivation. If you think you're coming here to work for your friend who showed you this business, please don't come in here. Go and work for somebody else. Because you don't come in to work for us. We come in because we love, we are here to build a business, right, that will give us compounding passive income. Okay, so the money, the difference with what we're doing here is the way the money comes in. You can make money many ways, but the way the money comes in Nu Skin is different because it's a passive income stream. Over time, whether you like it or not, the money will keep coming in. So if you know that that is what you want, number one, that's very important. Number two, you have to, it doesn't matter what skill you have. You must have the mindset of growth. You must have the mindset of wanting to learn new things and find solutions. So, what's an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is not a businessman. An entrepreneur is a person who decides to start something and solve problems along the way. Actually, any good business is a business that solves problems along the way.
Yeah.
Right? And if you want to be a good entrepreneur, you just have to solve all the problems that come along your way to get you to your final destination. So if you're clear about your final destination, you have a growth mindset, you're a person who's very resourceful, who is prepared to go and find ways to solve whatever problems that come along your way so that you will get to your end goal. No matter how long it takes, you will get to the end goal, right? You can do this business because this business can be learned. If I can learn to look somebody in the eye and talk, right? I think anybody can build this business.
Yes. So it's not about how much money you have. It's not about your education. It's not about what's your profession. It's all about what you mentioned is what do you want? You're clear about what you want, and you are open to growth. You want to grow and become better. That's all you need. The rest doesn't matter.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, particularly for New Skin, that's what I love about it. Whereas in other types of entrepreneurs, or businesses, right, there are barriers of entry. I need definitely,
Correct.
right? And that's why people say, oh, I cannot be this, I cannot be that. And that those are barriers of entry, right? I don't have enough money, the bank don't give me loan, I have no product to sell, all those things, right? Whereas this one, we have no capital, we have all those things are taken away. Then it just comes down to, can you change, right? So that you can regain control of your life.
Exactly. It's open to all. It's an equal opportunity platform. You just need to want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then now with all this that's happening right now, a lot of uncertainties, a lot of things that we're not sure, even up to end of the year, we're not sure what's going to happen. Why do you think now is the best time to embark on this particular New Skin business opportunity platform?
It's because of exactly what you said. Because okay. Anyway, if I put it simply, it's like the planets are aligned. Really, okay. Why I say so? Because everything is in our favor. Okay, it's just like the positioning of the company, right? I think New Skin has also grown and developed. You see, the thing is, everybody expects a company right from day one to start off as greatest in this and that. And most people don't realize that all businesses evolve and grow. So in the same way, New Skin as a company has evolved and grown over the years in a very positive way. Nobody comes in and doesn't make a mistake, right? But whatever that they have done, they have carefully thought through. Okay, maybe made some mistakes, but never mind. Let's move on. And they have grown and to a point whereby, as you can see, innovation is so crucial in the business, right? And we're way ahead in terms of innovation. The things that we can do to help the people around us in terms of health, in terms of the way they look, right? And the exciting things about the way that products are brought out. Okay, so this is the positioning of the company, and I'm talking about that because we need to piggyback on this company. Exciting means what? Now, a lot of you here might be millennials, right? Now, if you're millennial, type 1 or put your hand up. Taufik, faster put out your hand. Right? I also put out, you see, we all, whichever lah, okay? So, the thing is, you want to join things which are exciting, which will excite you, right? Don't you see that the way our New Skin products are coming out, the way they're packaged, the things that they're coming out, they excite not only the millennials, they excite everybody. Yet again, because we're in the supplement industry, I've gone to supplement shops. I've seen some local supplement shops, right? When you go in, it feels like for uncle and auntie only. I don't know whether you know what I'm trying to say, right? Yes. So it's not something that everybody will want to participate in. But number one, the positioning of the company, the way it has branded itself, the way it's positioned, right? Number two, social commerce is at our fingertips, right? So any business, if you don't have a Facebook page, no need to talk, you have no business lah. Okay, everybody has that, right? So social commerce, it is for us to use and it's free. Why would you not want to build a business that leverages with social commerce to build it with you? And New Skin actually has a full platform for that. I mean, you should ask the people who show you this, right? The full platform for that. And like what Taufik said, things are not doing well, people are uncertain. It is because of this whole period of time, uncertainty, that people start to look at different things. That's one. Secondly, after staying at home and working for a while, people have realized that, hey, their priorities have shifted away from company first to family and taking care of my needs first. Because they are no more into like, wow, my company made me work 24 hours at home, wow, America call, whatever call, and then I realized that this is crazy, right? Work from home is also crazy, right? And they realize company is not first anymore. It's family first. It is taking care of themselves first, right? And also the people's mindset and sentiment of network marketing is shifting. Why? Because of good people like you and Willie who make this business very professional, who do it properly, who show people that this is actually possible. It is a real solid business that gives real income, that gives people freedom. And this is real freedom. I mean, I look at Willie, she's flying the Singapore flag high and she's, she's chilling,
Yeah,
right?
with the
Right?
cat.
Yes. So all these conditions are there. And it just boils down to, are you prepared to work at it? Are you prepared to change? Are you prepared to learn new things to just build this?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. That's very well said. And I'm sure everyone here agreed that tonight's sharing with Dr. Lam is not just full of information, full of wisdom. It's also very touching and also something very inspiring for all of us. And the best part is it is not just something for us, but it's actually for an opportunity that is open for everyone. Everyone, anyone here has the opportunity to be on the same business platform as her and also as all of us here. And before we wrap up, any words of advice that you have for those who are thinking of becoming an entrepreneur or at least becoming a new skin entrepreneur?
Okay. I think it's important that you need to start with your end in mind. It's interesting because we really started with, when we are young, we want to grow up. People ask, what do you want to be? You grow up, right? They try to help us think with the end in mind. But the end was always a kind of job, whereas the way we should think is the end in mind is what sort of life you want at the end of the day. Start with the end in mind, right? And then you have to choose the right partner. Be smart about this. Really be smart about this and look carefully and be very smart about this. Don't just because it is network marketing, so I cannot, because the reputation or whatever, it doesn't matter. Be smart about this, because you go and sink in another 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 in another business. Good luck to you. I don't ever want to go through that whole stress again. Then you have to use your gut feel. Okay, you need to quieten the analytical mind. Now, all of us, especially the professionals, don't you believe? Analyze, think a lot, You have to quieten the analytical mind and you have to go with that gut feel. You have to go with that gut feel, right? And there's nothing to lose in new skin, because what do you have to do? Yes, we use the products. What's wrong with looking better? Who wants to look older and fatter and uglier, right? And be more unhealthy? So use the products, right? There's no loss. There's nothing to lose. So that's why I love this business. This business, you will never lose money. My clinic business, I can lose a lot of money, and 2 months lose 6-figure, This business, why is it sure win? Because there's no investment, there's no money to lose. Right? So go with your gut feel, but you need to make that decision and you have to keep working at it. So you will never be perfect at the beginning. Okay? Adjust your sails. Sail as in like sailing, right? Adjust and learn, adjust and learn, adjust and learn, and you get better and better and better. That's what I love about this business.
Wow, thank you. That's an amazing advice. Basically, just make a decision, know where you're going, and go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so
Don't
much.
think so much, lah.
Yes, don't analyze too much. Before we end, right? Anybody has any questions? We're open just for short question and answer.
Dr. Taufik,
Yes.
Stephen Lim here.
Yes,
Can I
Stephen.
ask the question?
Sure.
Okay, I'm Stephen Lim from Kuala Lumpur, and I have my own accounting practice. I got a question to Dr. Lam.
Yeah.
Dr. Lam, I believe you, having spent some time building up your dentist business, have you thought about like building up your dentist business in the multi-network way? Meaning, instead of selling supplements, you are still providing your dental service. It's like for me, I have my own accounting practice for the last 20 years. I have exposed to network marketing since 1997, 24 years ago. And I like the concept about leverage of income, talk about working with people, sharing things and freedom and all that. But instead of selling supplements, I'm looking towards selling my accounting service. That, for example, I do not know whether you are aware of Dr. Koh. He has a very successful skin clinic in business in Klang Valley. So have you ever considered in your business of like dental business, do it the multi-network way, not the traditional way, but not selling supplements, but doing your dentistry business? Have you ever considered about that? Thank you.
There are many ways of running a business, and another way of if you want to put it that way, then it's meaning opening it, let's say in the clinic way, network marketing way, then that will mean me actually having to partner with others to open many clinics. There are people who do that. It's not it's more like a franchising way.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, Stephen, right, it is still high capital. You are still very dependent on the professionals whom you so-called work with. Their primary motivation might not be the same as yours. So they can always, there's no, continuity. And so what I see is that we need to piggyback on a giant. And rather than, I've started a business ground up. I tell you, a ground up business takes time.
Yes.
New Skin is at the stage whereby it's 37 years old. It's no more a ground up business. So people who come in now, they are piggybacking on a very powerful business, which is really generating a lot of momentum. Right. Rather than spend another 37 years of my life to start a business ground up, right, before it can run like a bull run, I piggyback on it. In 3 to 5 years, I'm having the bull run.
Just a quick sharing, Dr. Lam, that when I did it in 1997, 24 years ago, my challenge is that when I tell people, at that time I was doing it under a company called New Ways. I don't know whether you're aware, there were the top 10 multi-network company in United States then. And people were saying, why are you an accountant selling vitamins, supplements? You are a professional, you train all these years and all that. So for me to sell my accounting services, I feel maybe for me personally, that is, I cannot say for other people, it's a pride that I'm selling a professional service as a professional accountant, not selling vitamin supplements. Yeah.
To me, any business that makes money, I'm very proud of it. That help people, I'm very proud of it, right? I see people who sell burgers are very proud of it. McDonald's. I see people who sell coffee who are very proud of it. They're called Starbucks, right? Yeah. So it's about shifting our thoughts, right? Basically, then maybe you might be thinking certain things are better than others.
Correct.
Which are seemingly more professional, but actually, I feel on the contrary. Actually, everybody, whether certain education or not, right? At the end of the day, we are all living our own lives here, and we should decide what sort of life we want to lead, and we should all go for that instead. So it doesn't mean that you have to lead the kind of life that I want or your life, Stephen. But whoever you are out there listening, you should go for the life that you want to live. Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much.
I love playing golf, and I can play golf every day. So some people say, is it a waste of time? I said, but I love it. Why I cannot do it? And if I want to pull your teeth on Tuesday, okay, Lord, I do it on Tuesday. And then I don't want to do it for the rest of the week. Why cannot? Because I have choice. So the key is freedom of choice. Do you have a platform for freedom of choice? Whereas if I were to run a business ground up, honestly, even if it's network marketing and I'm a boss there, I don't think I have freedom of choice because I'll be too busy trying to run it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lam. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen. Any other questions before we end off? We wrap up. Okay, so I think no other questions for Dr. Lam or Willie. Okay, so I think with that, I want to thank again to Dr. Lam and also Willie for sharing during tonight's special event of whether entrepreneurship is for me, and also thank to everyone who attended today. So if you guys have any questions about the business or more, ask the person who invited you to this Zoom link. And if you need to have the recording, you can also ask for the YouTube link, which is already on YouTube. Okay, So thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care, stay safe, and all the best. Okay,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Dr. Taufik.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Willie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you very much. Bye.
Bye.